If the Earth's magnetic field lines were to flip their polarity, it could bring humanity to its knees. But what exactly is a magnetic reversal, and why should we care? In 1921, the Norwegian mathematician and physicist Wilhelm Bjerknes suggested that the Earth's magnetic poles flip their position every couple 100,000 years or so. While the exact mechanism for how this happens is still a matter of scientific debate, it's generally thought that the core of our planet plays a huge role in generating the magnetic fields that protect all life on Earth from deadly space radiation. And without these protective magnetic fields, human civilization would be in serious trouble. The Earth's magnetic field extends thousands of kilometers from the surface into space. It acts as a shield, deflecting harmful charged particles from the sun and other cosmic energy sources. These particles travel through space at incredibly high speeds, and if they were to hit our home planet, they would cause all sorts of havoc. When these charged particles reach the Earth's magnetic field, most are deflected by it and travel back out into space. A small percentage, however, manage to penetrate the field and make their way into the atmosphere, where they collide with air molecules. When these particles collide with the nitrogen and oxygen molecules in the upper atmosphere, they ionize them, stripping away electrons and creating ions. The newly created ions and electrons then go on to interact with other atmospheric molecules, resulting in an incredible display of light known as the aurora. But while auroras are beautiful to look at, the particles that create them are dangerous to living things. This is because when these high-energy particles collide with molecules or atoms, they can damage the cells they're made of. Specifically, the radiation can break apart molecules like DNA, which can lead to cancer. The constant stream of ionized particles also interferes with radio communications and damages important electronics. Even though the Earth has a magnetic field to protect us from these harmful particles, the magnetic field itself is actually slowly weakening. According to NASA, the magnetic field is about 1% weaker today than it was in the 1970s. This means that it's only a matter of time before our protective magnetic shield will no longer be strong enough to keep us safe. But even worse than that, scientists have predicted that eventually the Earth's magnetic field will flip its polarity, reversing the positions of the magnetic north and south poles. In this video, I'm going to explain why such a shift could bring our civilization to its knees. To understand how a magnetic reversal would destroy society, we first need to know more about the magnetic field that surrounds our planet. While many people think of magnets as being simple bar magnets with a north and south pole, the Earth's magnetic field is much more complex. The Earth's magnetic field originates deep within the planet, specifically in the outer core. The outer core is a layer of iron and nickel that is about 2,000 kilometers thick. Even though the temperatures in the outer core range from 4,500 to 6,000 degrees Celsius, the iron and nickel exist in a liquid state. This is because the pressure in the Earth's core is so high that it prevents the iron and nickel atoms from combining and forming solid iron. As the liquid iron and nickel in the outer core flow, they drag the magnetic field lines with them. This movement of the liquid iron and nickel is driven by the Earth's rotation as well as convection currents caused by heat rising from the inner core. The constantly shifting magnetic field lines form a tangled mess of magnetic field lines that stretch from the Earth's core all the way to the surface. And it is these magnetic field lines that serve as our protection from deadly cosmic radiation. One of the main reasons that the Earth has been able to support life for so long is due to the magnetic field that surrounds it. The magnetic field lines are constantly being bombarded by charged particles from the sun. Most of these particles are deflected by the magnetic field lines and never make it to the Earth's surface. Those that do manage to reach the surface, however, often end up trapped in the atmosphere where they remain until they decay into less energetic particles. Every now and then, the Earth's magnetic field lines become unstable, allowing a large number of charged particles to enter the atmosphere all at once. When this happens, The energy from the particles causes widespread blackouts and massive disruptions to the power grid. Magnetic reversals happen over hundreds or even thousands of years and are preceded by periods of instability. During these periods of instability, the magnetic field lines become more and more chaotic, allowing more and more charged particles to enter the atmosphere. As the magnetic field weakens, the frequency of geomagnetic storms increases, causing more and more damage to communications and power infrastructure. A study published in 2021 by Nature Communications revealed that during a magnetic reversal, the geomagnetic storms become so severe that they cause a runaway greenhouse effect. This causes global temperatures to skyrocket by several degrees, and all life on Earth would be wiped out. Luckily, magnetic reversals don't happen very often. The last one occurred about 780,000 years ago, but some scientists believe that we could be entering a period of magnetic reversal right now. The Earth's magnetic field has already started to weaken, and it may only get worse in the coming years. What makes matters worse is that the Earth's magnetic field is getting weaker at the same time that humans have become more dependent on technology. Most of the electronic devices that we use every day rely on a stable magnetic field. GPS systems, for example, rely on a stable magnetic field to function properly. If the magnetic field were to weaken significantly, GPS systems would become inaccurate, making it difficult to navigate. The telecommunications industry also relies heavily on a stable magnetic field. Cell phones and other wireless communication devices rely on a stable magnetic field to function properly. If the magnetic field were to weaken, it would likely cause widespread blackouts and communication failures. The electric power industry also relies heavily on a stable magnetic field. Power grids are extremely sensitive to changes in the magnetic field. Even a small change in the magnetic field can cause major problems for power grids, leading to blackouts and other major disruptions. If the magnetic field were to flip, the damage to the electric power industry would be catastrophic. The entire electric grid would likely collapse, leaving millions of people without power for weeks or even months. The effects of a magnetic reversal would not just be limited to the electric power industry, however. Many industries rely on a stable magnetic field to function properly. For example, the oil and gas industry uses specialized equipment to detect underground deposits of oil and gas. This equipment is extremely sensitive to changes in the magnetic field, and a significant change in the magnetic field would likely cause major problems for the industry. The transportation industry would also be severely impacted by a magnetic reversal. As I mentioned earlier, GPS systems rely on a stable magnetic field to function properly. This means that planes, ships, and other forms of transportation would be unable to navigate accurately, potentially leading to accidents. Even the agricultural industry would be impacted by a magnetic reversal. Many farmers rely on GPS-guided equipment to plant crops and other tasks. A magnetic reversal would likely lead to major disruptions in the agricultural industry, potentially leading to food shortages. In short, a magnetic reversal would likely cause major disruptions to almost every industry imaginable. The economic impact would be devastating and could potentially lead to the collapse of modern civilization. So what can we do to protect ourselves from a magnetic reversal? Unfortunately, there is not much we can do to prevent a magnetic reversal. They are caused by natural fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field, and there is no evidence that human activity is causing the magnetic field to weaken. However, there are things we can do to mitigate the damage caused by a magnetic reversal. For example, we can develop more robust power grids that are less susceptible to changes in the magnetic field. We can also develop more accurate navigation systems that don't rely on GPS. By taking these steps, we can at least lessen the impact of a magnetic reversal and hopefully prevent the collapse of civilization. Of course, a magnetic reversal is not the only thing we need to worry about. There are many other potential threats to our civilization, such as climate change and nuclear war. However, a magnetic reversal is a unique threat in that it is both natural and unavoidable. While we can take steps to mitigate the damage, the only thing we can really do is hope for the best. Magnetic reversals are a natural phenomenon that occurs over hundreds or even thousands of years. They are caused by fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field and can lead to major disruptions to our modern way of life. While there is not much we can do to prevent a magnetic reversal, we can take steps to mitigate the damage and hopefully preserve our civilization.